For some reason, when you hit the magical age of 70, your doctors start looking at you like, well, little lady, we'll give you a pain pill and send you on your way and you're going to be fine. But this is part of getting older. And I was really, really depressed about not being able to find somebody who could help me.
Hey everyone, we have Liz joining us today who's been struggling with severe lymphocytic colitis, severe chronic fatigue, depression, hair changes, as well as chronic pain all over her body. And so today we really want to answer the question, which is, she really thought that one, she wasn't going to get better. And two, was that someone her age couldn't possibly want to learn something new. or for it to work. So did she learn something new? Did it work? I can't wait for you to see her results. I'm Maggie, MD, and I'm a functional and holistic medicine physician and the creator of the Transform Protocol to transform any autoimmune disease, and even if you don't have a diagnosis, around naturally. Okay. And really the keystone of our program, a lot of it is our 5 pillars. What are the root causes of autoimmunity? If you want to learn more about the 5 pillars or about this program, make sure you join our Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally, or you can chat our team in the link above or below this video if you have any questions for us. And do check your message requests to see if there are any questions or follow up from our team. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure you give us a thumbs up on this video. Just take a second to do that. And also click subscribe so you get notified every time we have something new. Okay, Liz, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay, my name is Liz Anderson. I live in Portland, Oregon. I've been here for 40 years, raised my children here, and I am now retired. Very grateful to have found Dr. Maggie.
Well, I know you don't think you have a solid diagnosis. Another one of those people that quote unquote don't have a diagnosis, but tons of autoimmune issues going on already. So can you share with us what some of the symptoms and diagnoses you were struggling with before the program?
Last fall in 2020, I came down with lymphocytic colitis and lost 20 pounds in a month and knew something was really off and went through 3 months of steroid prescriptions. And at the end of that, I'd had knee pain on my non-surgical knee for 2 years that was so bad that there were days I could not walk.
Yeah.
Beforehand, I had had all sorts of allergies, just off and on. And as I got older, it seemed like food was affecting me more than it used to. For instance, I don't drink alcohol anymore because it just has a terrible effect on me, which is a godsend probably.
Well, you live in wine country.
I know. That's the problem.
People don't know that about Portland, Oregon. We've got great wine.
Yeah, wonderful wine. Yeah.
So that being said, I want to show everybody that you're a perfect example where you had this lymphocytic colitis, whatever form of colitis you had, which resulted in a 20-pound weight loss. This is not a small deal. This is a big deal. And definitely you realize that there was a food connection with this, but did you realize that there was a hormonal component to this?
Absolutely not. And my doctor didn't. I even asked him, was there anything that led up to this? Was there something I could do? Was it something that I change my diet somehow? And I got a flat, no, you're fine.
You're not. You lost 20 pounds and you nearly died with all this.
Right.
You're not fine.
Yeah.
You have a leg you could barely stand on. You're not fine.
No.
Okay. So on a top 3 symptoms, 1, 2, 3, let's talk top 3 symptoms. And number 1, the colitis was definitely top symptom, right? With the diarrhea.
Correct.
Okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest level of symptom with that, what number was it?
10. I could not leave the bathroom.
Okay. That's several years or months with that, 2 years with that?
No, that was just 2 or 3 months.
2 to 3 months. It got to the point where you couldn't even leave the bathroom.
Yep.
Okay. And then pain level overall. I know there was knee pain, but it sounds like there was also back pain and other joint pain.
I had pain everywhere. My feet hurt. My legs and my feet cramped at night when I went to bed. I had back pain every morning that I got up out of bed. And if I sat for too long, I had back pain.
So 0 to 10, what's your daily level of pain before this program?
Before this program, oh gosh, probably 8.
Okay. Was there a third symptom if you had to pick one?
Just in general, kind of feeling old and brain fog and depression. Those are the 2 that.
Mental health with depression and brain fog. And me and you, I want you to get rid of the word getting old from your vocabulary.
I think you've taught me that.
I'm like, Liz, that's a trigger word. I think we're the same age.
Hardly.
I think we're close. We're closer than you realize.
Okay.
Okay. So between mental health with depression, brain fog, and pain of level 8, colitis was level 10. That's where you were 2 months ago. Yes. Where are you today? Where are you now with these symptoms? Let's go with colitis symptoms with the diarrhea, can't leave the bathroom. Where are you at right now with those?
Absolutely gone and no effects from that. In fact, if anything, because of your water challenge, my bathroom habits are wonderful for the first time in my life.
I love that. So regular bowel movements, diarrhea is gone. You're not tied to the toilet. Colitis symptoms gone.
Gone. Totally.
Okay. All right. You said it. Number 2, pain. Pain level, you said with knees, back, every day was level 8. Where are we at right now?
Maybe a 1 or a 2. And that's just because I've just now started working with a local chiropractor who's an absolute angel. And he did 1 adjustment last week and my knee pain went from 10 to 1.
Liz, this is something really important because one of the things I do teach people is how do you find other providers that understand what we do in this program, that are willing to collaborate with you. And I had recommended actually Dr. McBride to you because I was like, there are so many people that go to a regular doctor, get an x-ray and are told you're fine. And that doctor has no training in literally physical medicine of the leg or knee. So the doctor who's reading the x-ray, a radiologist says, oh, it's fine. What did Dr. McBride see? What did this chiropractor see that your regular doctor couldn't see?
Well, he immediately recognized the fact that my tibia was not seated in my knee joint properly.
Dislocated.
Totally throwing off my gait and my posture, and my spine is kind of bent to the right because of it.
So he was able to do, because he's like, oh, your tibia is dislocated. Boop.
Yep. It wasn't until you said, seek the people in your life that you need, that you can trust and deal with. And it was when you said that towards the end of the program that's when I started thinking I needed to go to Dr. McBride.
Well, I think the thing for me is I love educating people in our program. Like I'm saying that you're becoming the pilot and no longer the passenger. Don't just take your regular doctor and the radiologist saying your knee is fine. And meanwhile, you're gimping around for 2 years and call that good. There you go, little lady, take some pain meds. Hell no to that, right? It's really important. I was like, well, what is the real problem with your knee? What is the actual problem? And Liz's like, I didn't know. And I'm like, you need to go to somebody who can look at the x-ray and your knee and actually examine your knee and help you figure out what's wrong for this 8 to 9 out of 10 pain every single day.
Exactly.
And chiropractors, some of them are really well trained on how to find the root cause of pain. That's a physical misalignment or dislocation. Boom, right there. Ended her knee pain of a couple of years in just 1 or 2 visits. Insomnia. Can you tell us a little bit about the insomnia, where you were and where you're now?
Literally, I would sleep maybe 2 or 3 hours and wake up. And usually I got up because I was so frustrated, but I've had a racing mind for probably 20 years at bedtime. And it could take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours to fall asleep if I did. And that doesn't happen anymore.
What ended it so quickly?
That started it because I didn't start taking the relaxer for several weeks afterwards. But once I hit the relaxer, my head hits the pillow and I'm 5 minutes, I'm gone.
That's a blessing, when you actually can fall asleep and stay asleep, because a lot of us get fear-induced insomnia. Like you're so scared you're not going to sleep, but the fear itself keeps you awake all night.
Yes, I know.
Right? And the trust that I'm going to hit the pillow and I'm going to go to sleep is huge in releasing the fear.
I had so many different schemes to try and fall asleep. I take apart a painting that I wanted to do and do it step by step. I could get through the whole friggin' painting before I fell asleep.
Oh, that's torture.
Yes, it was.
Let's talk about hair. What were some issues with hair that you had before the program, and where are you now?
My hair was very dull. I've always had a very rich, luxurious mane, and it had gotten very dull. It was breaking constantly. It didn't grow. I mean, I have long hair and it would stay at the same length forever. And the ends would get so bad, I'd have to go cut it. Now it's probably, since I started with you, I think it's grown at least 2 inches. It looks better. It's shiny. Yes. Where's the fan?
Well, question, Liz, what do you think caused that to happen? This is just over the 2-month time frame here. This is over the last 2 months. What do you think made your hair grow 2 inches and improve the quality of it?
I personally think it's the supplements in combination with a better diet. I've always had a pretty good diet, but now I'm focused more on the proteins and the fats.
Mhm.
I have definitely upped my fat content, intake rather, and I think that's made the difference.
If you had to pick 1 or 2 supplements that you think was responsible for hair regrowth or changing the quality of it, what would you say?
Probably the Procal Mag and
Calcium, magnesium, and zinc, the minerals.
right, and maybe the essential vitamin.
Simply the essentials.
Yeah, because I was not taking one of those before.
Well, I actually have a third aha for you.
Okay.
Guess what really makes hair grow? Iron.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Iron works.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So once you get your laboratory values and you understand how low it was, taking the iron within just a matter of 6 to 8 weeks, people will start noticing if that's the cause of the hair changes. People start noticing length changes, baby little hairs going back. Iron is really crucial to hair regrowth.
Oh, okay.
Voila.
Awesome.
Let's talk about hormones. Actually, your last symptom, depression and brain fog, that was a really high level, like 8 to 9. Where are you at today?
0. I'm
0.
happy. Yes.
You got colitis 10 to 0, pain 8 to level 1 or 2, depression and brain fog 2 months ago was like 8 or 9. Right now it's 0.
Mm-hmm.
So people are looking at this and they're like, this can't be real. Okay. I'm sure before you joined the program, you looked at a lot of these interviews. Was that one of your thoughts was like, this can't be real? Like either she's a super special case or like the rarity in the program that got better, or she's a paid actress or something.
Oh gosh.
But my question for you is, what has this meant for you now that you are not tied to the bathroom? Pain is gone and your brain fog is gone. What are you doing now that you weren't able to do before?
Oh, just about everything. And Maggie, it goes beyond those things. For some reason, when you hit the magical age of 70, your doctors start looking at you like, well, little lady, we'll give you a pain pill and send you on your way and you're going to be fine. But this is part of getting older. And that's basically the way they start treating you. I'm generalizing. I know that not every doctor's like that, but that was what started happening to me. And I was really, really depressed about not being able to find somebody who could help me. And I did a lot of research online looking for somebody. First, I found out about functional medicine, and I found you. And the funny thing is that I'm old-fashioned and I wanted to come in and sit across the desk from you. And I couldn't imagine doing anything other than that. So when they said this is going to be all on computer, I went, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because I've been retired long enough that my computer skills are a little bit behind the times, I think. Yeah. But I challenged myself to do it. And you made it so easy and so logical. And logic is big in me, the way I run my life, that it was a win-win. And I could see it, even though it was challenging at first. I mean, I haven't been in school in a long time. But I'd get up every Monday morning and I could not wait to do the modules. Mm-hmm. I was just really having fun learning for a change. And that's evidence of my brain fog lifting.
So what you're telling me is you can teach a middle-aged dog new tricks.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, definitely can.
So Liz, here's the thing. We happen to both be in Portland, Oregon. And
right.
You've experienced plenty of visits with doctors across the table during your middle-aged lifetime.
Yes.
How does this 2-month process of working with me and our team in this setting online, how did it blow your expectations to do a program online versus going to see 10 more specialists?
You gave me information. You gave me solutions. Those doctors, I could ask them all sorts of questions and not get any answers because they didn't have them or they didn't have the time to spend with me to give me those answers.
I think the other piece though, Liz, is the educational aspect. You said you woke up and you couldn't wait to actually go watch the video modules, which is on your own time, any device, right?
Right.
There is no educational process for how we deliver medicine out in clinic setting at all. So think about the 90% of stuff you learned in this program. Mm-hmm. No doctor, even if they knew, had time to teach you any of that.
I believe it.
It's true. I mean, I had to create it. An educational system for medicine does not exist. Functional medicine also doesn't exist. So I had to create it. What would you say? Because people want no secret sauce, Liz.
Okay.
Like, did this magically happen because, you love the modules? Or if you had to list some solid things, there's a lot of people watching right now, this live. They want to know, Liz, spill the tea. What are some things that you did that really caused these results to happen? Thinking about the colitis, the pain, the depression and brain fog. What are some really crucial things that you learned that was like big game changers for you that you implemented?
Okay. First and foremost was the water challenge. And I drink 80 ounces of water a day, which is over my weight, by the way. And then the supplements, I started phasing those in. And I had been taking a lot of supplements beforehand, but I wasn't taking the right ones or the right amount.
Personalized to your data.
Correct. And the tests that you did told me so much more than any test I'd ever had. And I used to go in and ask my doctor, I want a complete blood count. I don't want just the top shelf or the cheap one. I want the whole thing. And finally, only once was I able to talk a doctor into doing a D3 test. And those tests were just eye-opening. The hormone test, for years, I had figured I had hormone issues just instinctively, but to know what those issues were, and it didn't surprise me, but it also was wonderfully fulfilling to know the answer.
Hey, Liz, we are in the middle of Holiday Hormone Week challenge in the Facebook group. Right. And so this question comes up all the time, and now you get to answer it. So many people are like, I had a hysterectomy. I was told my hormones are fine. Or another person would be like, but I'm postmenopausal. My doctor told me my hormones are fine. How do you answer that now, Liz?
I'm trying not to swear.
Oh, I trained you well.
Yes.
We might edit that out.
They need to come to you and get the right test done.
I think here's the thing is hormones matter even more post-hysterectomy or postmenopausal.
Yes.
Even more. And if anything, one of the major triggers of your colitis the last 3 years was because your hormones were really dropping fast. Because what was your pattern of hormones when you did test it? What did you learn about those hormones?
I was low everything, estrogen dominant.
So here's the thing is, people would have said, Liz, you're 72. You shouldn't have many hormones anyway, so why bother testing it? Yes, but she's in a pattern that I call low everything, which means for a 72-year-old, she had hormones of like a 90-year-old. Yep. That's not normal. Right. And the second thing was estrogen dominance was the second pattern that she had. Who the hell cares that someone postmenopausal with low hormones is estrogen dominance? I do.
I do too.
I do too. Because this is the number one trigger of autoimmune disease. Is one of the patterns is estrogen dominance. And so you found out not only were you low everything, but you were also estrogen dominance. And that's a huge cause of this colitis flaring the last 3 years, period. Okay. And it's a huge cause of chronic pain, those of you who are watching right now. So you mentioned that there were supplements that you took, but the thing is about supplementation is this, everybody. In the program, you got to get the testing and the educational modules, because you know what? Liz isn't taking my word for what her hormones means. If Liz rechecked her hormones in 6 months, would you know what to do with it? Would you know what the patterns were?
I think so.
Because that's what she learned in the modules. My program teaches people the skill of learning how to master their hormones, so they're not dependent on any doctor, including me. I love that. You learned that you're low everything. All right. So I have a question for you. If you had to list, were there some supplements that you're like were key game changers? I'm just curious.
I take Relaxer at night just before bedtime. I do that because my mind would race whenever I got in bed to lay down to go to sleep, and that has completely gone away. I take Golden Balance at night in combination with my Relaxer just before bedtime, and I have been sleeping through the night, whereas beforehand I had not slept at all more than 2 or 3 hours.
Next question. If you had to look back at what the 2 months ago, why did you almost not join the program?
Like I said, old-fashioned ways, not clear about my computer skills. Just, I'm old enough to be jaded about everything, and I'm not sure I trust a whole lot of people.
Okay. Question for you. Now that you've been through the program, as far as the old-fashioned lack of computer skills, how difficult was this program to do as an online program overall when you look at it?
Not difficult at all.
Booyah.
Yeah. You've made it very, very easy.
Easy and logical.
Yes.
And I have a saying, I only recommend SHIT that works. Any tech you're going to have to learn, it's going to work. And you're going to be like, oh, this works great.
Yep.
What surprised you about a group program online? What's something that's surprising about it? Besides that you were able to do the tech, was there something surprising that was like really positive? Like, oh my God, I didn't expect this.
What was most surprising was the value of listening to other people and what they were going through and how you were solving their problems and learning from that as well as the modules. It just kind of puts everything into perspective. And it's also kind of a rote learning system so that you keep hearing the same things over and over again, and they start getting embedded in your brain.
I would say my superpower is a pattern recognizer. I recognize patterns that other people don't see.
Yes.
I have a sixth sense when it comes to patterns. I see patterns, right? Atmosphere I call hyper learning, because think about it, Liz, no matter how many 10-minute sessions you have in front of a doctor, right? You think about up to this point in your life, all those 10-minute, 20-minute sessions you have with those doctors. How does the amount of learning that you did there compare to even just your first mastermind call in a small group?
There was no learning with the other way, with the doctors. There was none.
And there's something to be said when someone else, you're going through a call with the other people in the community and they're asking questions. She might have Crohn's and PCOS, but are there questions that she asks? Are there something from her results review that you're like, that's a huge aha for me?
There always is. Yes.
Always. And this is why I think clearly the way we do this, you learn 10 times fast. And that's why I call it hyper learning. So you're not just learning on your own from the video modules, but when you're actually live troubleshooting with me and other people in the program, you're hyper learning 10 times fast with repetition coming in. Because are there 10 people with 10 different ways that low everything shows up? Yes. Are there 10 people with estrogen dominance that shows up in 10 different ways? And would their recommended solutions be slightly different to each person? Yes. And do you need to learn how to do that? Yes. That's the whole point of this program.
Yep.
Okay, next question. What's something that you can do right now effortlessly that 2 months ago you would have thought was impossible?
Just going shopping and walking for longer than 5 minutes. I mean, that's a big one, even though I don't like shopping. But my next big thing after I see Dr. McBride again is going to be going for my walks. I used to walk 5 miles a day up and down these mountains. And I am determined to get back to that.
Love that. What was your favorite thing about working with me and our team in this program?
Probably your enthusiasm and bubbly personality, and just dialing into that every once in a while, because not a lot of people in my life like you.
I hope not.
But I appreciate you very much.
I appreciate you, Liz. You know what? I think what makes you an ideal candidate to be part of our program is that you're what I call coachable, meaning you're open. A lot of people are so closed and set in their ways, or you said you were jaded like everybody else, but there's a big difference between an individual who's jaded and an individual who says, I'm jaded with bad experiences, but I'm open to learning.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes.
I'm open to the possibility that I might be wrong. I'm open to the possibility there could be another solution out there. And I'm open to the possibility that it's possible for another person or program to earn my trust. And I'm open to the possibility that I could get better and I will get better. Those are all like what I call coachability. And that's what you are. And that's not what most people are.
Well, I'm glad I found you.
Final question. What's something that you learned about yourself that surprised you during this program?
I think it was my eagerness to learn. I mean, I was a terrible student back in the day, and it's never been my forte. I learned by doing, and it surprised me how exciting it was to learn again.
You can learn, and you did learn, and this is why you're getting results.
Yes.
Congratulations, my middle-aged woman.
Thank you. Oh, goodness.
Till I'm 80, I'm going to call myself middle-aged. That's all I'm saying. So we're in the same age group then.
Okay.
Got this. All right. Great. Liz, thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview.
Thank you, Dr. Maggie. You are an absolute gem and an angel and just brilliant.
Oh, thank you. All right. Have a great day, my dear. I'm so grateful to Liz for doing this interview because a lot of us give us worse obstacles in some ways. We have enough obstacles coming from the medical community telling us we don't have a problem, it's not real, or we don't have a problem they can solve. That's enough of an obstacle. But a lot of times we create our own obstacles saying, oh, I'm too old, I can't learn a new thing, my brain fog is too bad, or I'm too depressed to do anything, or I'm too jaded to believe anyone could be real. We put up a lot of these obstacles ourselves that prevent us from getting better. So I love what Liz had to share about that and her journey with that. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, go ahead and click a like, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you join our Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. If you want to learn more about our programs, make sure you chat our team in the link above and below this video. Thanks, everybody.